vlogs. This is Nick and Jess from Epheriell.
And in this video we're going to show you the process of making one of our designs. We make all sorts of jewellery, sterling silver jewellery, but we specialise in
Wedding bands.
Yeah, so we make sterling silver wedding bands for people all over the world, custom size from recycled sterling silver. So we hope you enjoy this video and it gives you a little bit of an insight into the work that goes into making your piece of epherial jewellery.
The first thing we have to do when we're making a ring is to select the right shape and size of silver wire. Then we grab our sizing sheet and work out exactly how long we need to cut that piece of silver in order to end up with the correct sized ring. We work in full, half and quarter sizes, so we have to get it right from the beginning. Then we use our little jewellery drop saw to cut the silver to the correct length. And then it's on to annealing, which is where we heat up the silver in order to make it soft enough so that we can bend it and actually form the ring. Then we pop it into our pickle, which cleans the scale off of the ring from the soldering process. And so we pop it in there in the warmth for a few minutes and that just cleans the scale off it. Then we do whatever else we need to do. So we might put a texture in the ring or on the ring. We might stamp a message. If you have bought one of our secret message rings, we stamp a message on the inside. And once that's finished, it's time to actually shape the ring. So you can see we're showing you a few different ring designs throughout this video, just as an example of some of the stuff that we make. This is one of the trickiest parts because you have to get the two ends of the ring to line up perfectly before you solder it together. Otherwise you risk having an unstable join that won't hold up to the test of time. So this is a really important part of the process. Then after we've got it all nice and perfect, it's back to the soldering block again. And this is where we actually solder the ring together. So we use a solder picker, which is that long thin thing. And on the end of that is a little piece of solder. And so we heat up the ring and then we put the solder onto the join. And then we keep heating it up with our soldering torch until the solder flows. So then it flows and coats and fills the join, and that's what puts the ring together. Then it's back in the pickle again to clean off the scale from the second soldering. This is a really important step, otherwise it would be a lot of work for us to get all of the darkness and the scale off the ring from the soldering process. So it goes back into the warm bath for a few minutes. Then it's time to start cleaning up the ring. So we file it to get rid of any extra solder that's on the ring. We have to do that on the inside and the outside and the sides, and we will often also use sandpaper. And then we hammer it to get it to basically a round state. And then after we've got it round, we go to our sizing machine. And as you can see, this is what helps us to make sure that the ring is exactly the right size. So we usually find it's a little bit smaller when you first put it together, and then you have to size it to the correct size. We used to do this by hand, by hammering it, and it was a lot more work. And then it's off to a final sand and a file of the inside edges so that they're not sharp. And then depending on what finish you're putting on the ring, we might high shine it, which is what we're doing here. So shining it on our buffing wheel, and which is kind of messy job. You can see the stuff on Nick's fingers there. And then if we do a high shine, we have to clean it off with soap and an old toothbrush to get rid of all of that material. Or we might be oxidizing a ring. So we heat up our oxide and then we pop the ring in and it turns it to that dark grey black color that you can see in the video here. Then we might have to take some of that back off if we've made you a secret message ring. And we polish the ring up, and then it's time to pack it up for you. So we pop it on our little backing card there, and then once we've done that, we pop it inside of another envelope to keep it nice and safe during its journey from us to you. And if you have also ordered a wedding ring off us, we like to put a little final touch on there, and we seal it with some sealing wax for you. So this is quite a nice little process of putting a seal on it like they used to do in the old days to hold it together. And our little seal that we use is actually 2 rings. So we pop that on there until it's nice and secure. Let it dry out or harden. And then the last step, of course, is to wrap it in a bow for you. And Nick is a master bow tire. If there was a certificate for this, he probably would have earned it because he has tied thousands of bows over the last few years for our customers. And he's quite particular about making sure it's just right. So he'll fiddle with that and he'll cut it to length and play around with it until it looks just right and is ready to go in a bubble mailer and ship wherever you are in the world from us to you.
Find out more about us, please head on over to our website, epheriell.com. That's EPHERIELL.com. And thanks for watching.